Good afternoon. Today is November 16, 2017. The time is 12:53 p.m., which is Thursday. I think you already watched my video from video to video on YouTube and Facebook. I would like to explain again and again and again about Africa. Africa is abundance of gold and diamond supply, coffee, cashew, gas, iron, gold, rough diamond from Central and East and Central Africa and West Africa. Now, I know that the international buyer are traveling to get the supply. Angola, Tanzania, Cameroon, Kenya, Sierra Leone, Mali, Guinea, Ghana, Togo, Benin. There's a lot of supply, but that country is not popular. The most popular is Ghana, Mali, and Guinea. So let us start to explain about Ghana. If you are a buyer today, you are on the ground, I discourage you refrain coming to Ghana at this point of time, because Ghana, there's a lot of problem. Even though I have a seller in Ghana, I've been to Ghana 2015. I was invited by Orum Mining Company. The owner of Orum died because of David Anim. And I will share with you the experience that I encountered in Ghana when I was there. 2015, I brought the buyer called Eric Blasco from Mexico. And he signed a contract during the time. The price was $55,000 per kilo, 2015. And then we offered them $42,000 per kilo. So Orum invited me. He paid all my expenses because they cannot even understand why buyers and sellers failed to do business. So Orum invited me, and Foster was there, and David Anim, and I arrived prior to Eric Blasco's arrival. They signed a contract, and I learned out of that. So before Eric Blasco came to Ghana, I done my research. I traveled from refinery to refinery. I met Mr. Kwame and also Joseph ER Logistic. I went to ER Logistic myself. I interviewed the owner, which is Joseph, and I asked Joseph, can you show me your facilities? Because I have the buyer from Mexico arriving 3 days from now. So Joseph showed me, and their machinery coming from Italy. I think 2015 they were in the newspaper that EI Logistic is the best refinery during the time of my time. And he showed me the papers. I was really impressed. And really, they're really very good. And I asked Joseph, seller says, oh, I don't like to deal with refinery because they swap the gold. Well, I mean, there is no swapping. The gold will shrink. The seller have no idea about selling the gold. And I was laughing because I already knew, because I done my research. You can type on Google, what is gold is all about. They will tell you that the gold has has an element. That's gold as a component like magnesium, lead, silver, and zinc, and brass, and tungsten. But the seller and you, the buyer, have no idea about that. So I done my research so that I could educate both buyers and seller. So Joseph was selling. Well, Amina, you know what you're talking. I said, yes, I know. So Orum brought the gold to ER Logistic. And the buyer, he said that he has money that was the value of 24 million. Eric Blasco is the broker. And Marine, they're going to sell the gold to the refinery. That's fine if you're going to sell the gold to the refinery, but you need to lay out the capital. That was my bad experience. I learned a lot. Today, the buyer from United States, he has $1 million transfer into the refinery's account. And I arrange different sellers. I don't know why the sellers are devious. I was talking to William Kwaku, General Field Mining Company. And he said he will talk to the buyer. And he signed a contract. And suddenly he sent someone to Italtec. That the instruction of the buyer is like this. No such seller will call Italtec without the presence of the business partner, because the buyer transferred the account into the Italtec of 19 million. Right. And I arranged Joko. Joko is also devious. Right. Joko, you have a meeting with Joseph, and Joseph knows me. And they don't like to deal with Italtec. I don't know why. Italtec is a nice guy, and the owner of Italtec is an American. my business partner. And Nana Minsa, I also arranged, and he met my the buyer's business partner, and he agreed. And suddenly he went to Italtec last night. The instructions of the buyer is like this: no such seller will call Italtec for security reason. The buyer have $1 million, 19 million transfer into Italtec's account. And last night I was talking to Nana. I was really angry. I called him a liar. Nana Minsa. And he met the business partner. They have a breakfast, and he agreed to bring that 50 kilos. And suddenly he didn't meet the business partner. He go behind. I sent him a letter that no such seller will contact Italtec until the buyer will introduce him personally in front of the business partner inside the refinery. But Nana Minsa and William Kwaso, he called Mr. Kwame. Of course, Mr. Kwame will deny it for security reason. I have the proof of fund of the buyer. That's why the buyer trusts me. And I thought that my seller will follow the instruction. They have gold. I don't know why. They are devious. Nana Minsa, you're devious. William Kwaso, General Field Mining Company is devious. Kojo is devious. All of them are devious sellers in Ghana. Right. I called Mr. Kwame last night. The conference with the buyer from Texas and the buyer's partner in Ghana. And Nana Minsa is a liar. And you know what Mr. Kwame was saying? Well, Amina, the buyer has money. Tell the seller, bring the gold to Italtec. We will pay, we will smelt according to the buyer's instruction. Right. This video is for the sellers to listen. You are sellers there in Accra. You are all devious. Whether you are Dangara, you are General Field Mining Company, Mr. William Kwako. I know you, William. I thought I can rely on you. You studied in United States, but still your brain is backward. Nana Minsa, last night, I connected you with the buyers from Texas and the business partner. You lied. I connected you to Mr. Kwame. Mr. Kwame was very simple saying, well, Amina, if the seller has gold, bring it. We will pay it instant cash. The buyer has cash in our account. Because the buyer is a foreigner, he transferred the payment into Italtec. I have the proof of fund, Standard Chartered Bank. And why you people in Ghana? Why are you devious? I'm sick and tired, so I have to expose you. So that is the reason why buyer do not come to Ghana anymore. Do not. Refrain coming to Ghana. Come with me and Mali. Because I have different sellers. I handle different sellers in Mali, Ghana, Guinea, Sierra Leone, Cameroon. I would like to take you to Mali and Guinea and Cameroon. First of all, this is how you're going to do, Mr. Buyer. Refrain floating around from different broker to broker because broker doesn't help you. And broker, their eyes is bigger than their commission. Right. I would like to help you to get the gold properly. Do not come to Ghana. Any buyer love to come to Ghana, please refrain. Because Ghana have a lot of problem. That is the reason why Nana Minsa, I've given him an opportunity, and last night I was really mad. So all of my sellers in Ghana are fired. Are fired. They're hard and fired. No one fired me, but I'm firing them. They come to me to handle their gold to market. Don't buy gold in Ghana anymore. Do not. You as an international buyer, you will fail. This time, this video is for your education. Do not travel without Wilhelmina. Do not. Do not waste your money. You buy gold analyzer, just like a gun, hand carry. There you can buy that online. Search gold tester, gold analyzer. You need to buy. If you don't have that, don't travel. Do not travel. Because you're going to be frustrated. You will be. 100% you will be frustrated. I'm telling you right now. Come to Mali or come to Guinea. Now, I will explain to you about Mali. Mali is the third largest gold producer in West Africa. There is a biggest refinery in Mali called KMR. They are the biggest refinery. They can smelt the gold into gold bullion. Now, the gold in Africa are Dory bar. It's not yet pure. The Dory bar is 22.52 carats. The purity is from 94.95. Now the gold has many uses. As if you are going to make into gold coins, you only need 12 carats. If you are going to make into medical uses or spare parts in mobile phone, you only need 58% purity, which is 14 carats, or 18 carats, which is 75% for industrial spare parts. But if you are going to make into gold coins, you need 22 carats. The purity is from 94.95. However, if you are a gold trader, you want to buy and smelt into gold bullion to make into, to do some uh, insurance of your business, gold is made is the world asset. Everybody needs gold. Central bank needs gold. The jewelry manufacturer needs gold. So gold is precious. Gold is not for CIF. Gold is not for cost, insurance, and freight only. You need to pay for the gold as a buyer. There is no LC, there is no CIF, there is no NT79, there is no black fund. You need to have a capital. If you don't have a capital, don't be involved in gold business, because gold is a very tricky business. Even in diamond, you need to pay, you need to appraise that. Now, I will explain to you about diamond later on. In gold, as I've said to you, in Mali, I was talking to my boss. I am a full authorized mandate. But when I travel, I charge extra service to a buyer for my trip only, once only. You are not paying me a lot of things. You pay my airfare, my hotel accommodation is spending money. If you really need gold. But if you are not capable to pay, don't be involved in business. A small trader, if you have a limited cash, please keep your money in the bank. Don't travel to West Africa if you don't have the money. If you are going to leverage, it wouldn't work at all. If you're going to launder, the more you are going to encounter trouble. Right. Now, in Mali, as I've said to you, the seller is willing to give you, if you're looking for 24 carats, the gold has to be assayed at the government refinery. First, to find out the purity and the carats, you will get the assay report. So, you have to pay cash on the trial. 10, 20, you pay cash. And if you want to make into gold bullion, use the KMR. The seller says to me, after this smelting, the buyer has to pay cash. Then we will deliver the gold to KMR. Then we will provide an extra gram because the gold will shrink. My seller in Mali understood because I explained the problem in Ghana. So my seller's instruction is like this. We will assay the gold on 20 kilos to start with as a trial based on the contract. You need to put on the contract there Wilhelmina as a business, as a seller's mandate and facilitator. Thank you for your explanation. I was looking for gold for many months and I was frustrated. I am looking to buy gold to make into jewelry. You only need 1,000 kilograms. Jewelry, which is 22.52, 95% purity. Right. If you are going to buy to make into industrial, perfect. Because you only need 75, but the gold is 95, 94, 95. So you only need 75% if you're going to make into industrial spare part like this one. There is gold inside the mobile phone. So you need 75%. That is perfect. So you're a winner. But if you're going to make into gold volume, it is 99.99 with the hallmark and serial number, it's a different scenario. You need to have 1,000.3 in one bar. The seller says to me, we will deliver the gold to KMR provided the buyer have to pay cash on 20 kilos. If you don't like to use KMR to smelt into gold volume, you bring your analyzer. The seller will give you extra gram. You bring that to your destination, right? On 20 kilos, you pay the 7 kilos. The seller will come with you. But you need to show the proof of fund. According to my seller's instruction, you need to show the proof of fund, your bank statement that you have at least 500,000 or $1 million. Because on 7 kilos, we're selling $36,000 per kilo, tax inclusive. The tax is already there on the price. The government sales tax already on the price. So you don't need to pay taxes anymore. The price is tax inclusive. On $36,000, I'm gonna get the pen. You paid 7 kilos, right? If you don't like to use KMR, because KMR you have to open an account as well, and you have to pay the smelting. So in Mali, the gold has been smelted at the government refinery. So on 20 kilos, you pay smelting cost is $100. On ASI, $50 per kilo. You need to bring your gold analyzer to double check. Do not travel without gold analyzer. You're gonna be frustrated. So, $36,000 as to this price. Today is 41,000, right? 41,000 on 24 carats, which is refined. Right? You go on internet, www.goldprice.org. You will see how much per gram they're selling right now on the ground is $41. But because you are going to deal long term, you're gonna be given a very good discount. On 1,000 kilograms, we will give you today, right, 41,100, let's say 41,000 because it is increasing and down, at least 10%, right, minus 41,000, that is 36,000 less 10%, right, 36,900, remove the 900, will give you 36,000, so you're still a winner. You get the profit. But if you are floating around from broker to broker, how are you able to pay your broker? Because once the seller give you a discount, you get the profit. Right. I am charging my seller my marketing fee and consultant. I only charge you my trip extra service. You are not paying my commission. When you need Wilhelmina, I charge my airfare, my hotel accommodation and spending money once only, and you will deduct it on the total payment. This is my seller's instruction. If the buyer is scared, Wilhelmina, you can come with the buyer. The buyer has to pay your trip, but we will deduct it from the total payment. That is fair. That is really very fair. So you are a winner, because if I am there, I need to make sure that the seller give you a really good service, because sellers, Africans, are not really well informed. They need someone that will educate them as well. So my service is not cheap. The seller is paying my fee, my marketing fee. I advertise and I put that on YouTube, which is listening to me in front of you. But if without me, I can guarantee you will never get gold. I can guarantee you 100%. You need to take Wilhelmina with you. I will arrive the day before you arrive. The seller will invite you. It says on the contract 20 kilos to start with. Then the following month 100, 100, 100. Every shipment you need to put to 40% down payment. Why? There's a tax. They will use that to pay government sales tax. So you will give in a collateral. On 20 kilos, you own the 7 kilos. The 13 kilos doesn't belong to you yet because you have not paid the fully paid. So you start a trial, which is 20 kilos, you pay the 7 kilos. Tax inclusive. So less 10% on the world market price. So if you want to make into gold volume, yes, my seller will give you 1.3, but the discount is 8%. Which one you like? So think about it. Now, in Guinea, in Guinea exactly the same. You will state that your intention, a letter of intention, LOI, letter of intent to buy, on buyer's company letterhead. Most of the broker, they cut and paste. They're scared. They're scared to reveal the identity of the buyer. Now, 2 nights ago, there was a buyer in Guinea. 3 weeks he couldn't find gold because there's no seller will entertain any buyer floating around on the ground. And I told them that it's very difficult for me to handle you if you are in Guinea, that you cannot find gold. They were being window shopping. They were being offered 25, 26, 27. That is not the real thing, because the real seller will not sell cheap gold. will not even entertain you because there is a government sales tax. Those sellers offer you a very cheap. That is a very tricky. That is gross. You are a foreigner. Make sure that the seller who sell you 28 or 27, the seller has a license to export. If that seller has no license to export, then you are waiting for disaster. You are. Do not grab any offer. There was a guy, an American guy in Kenya. He was offered $25,000. Last week, the guy came to me for help. Madam, I listened to your video, but I didn't take notice. I'm in Kenya. I was offered 25,000. Right. And I listened to him. I said, how come? I was being duped. 80,000. I said, why you have been duped? The gold, madam, is coming from Congo. Wow. I told you that before. Gold in Kenya, coming from Congo, which is smuggled. So, they brought that into Kenya. They changed it, the ownership. 25,000 is no longer 25,000 because the seller in Kenya has a license. They're going to change the ownership in order to pay the government. So, at the end of the day, the price at the end of the day will be 35, 36. So, when I explained that to the buyer, I said, yes, you're right. I told you so that. So, he lost 85,000. And he said, madam, can you help me? No, I cannot help you. I'm not a policeman. I'm not an agency. I only handle my seller. So that is the reason why I explained to you on the video. Now, in Guinea, exactly the same. The seller's instruction, we will not deal any buyer without invitation. You will be invited by the seller based on your order, and then someone from my head office will pick you up in the airport and then come to your hotel first, and then the seller will invite you to the office to have a meeting. Then after the meeting, review the contract. If there is an adjustment, the seller is willing to adjust. Then that is the time the gold will is scheduled to smelt or assay at the central bank. This is Guinea I'm talking about. Very simple. Do not shorten the journey. A minute you shorten the journey, then you are waiting for disaster. Right. In Sierra Leone, in Cameroon, exactly the same. In Cameroon, there is no CMAC license. Do not grab any offer in Cameroon. Oh, I have the gold, you pay the CMAC. There is no CMAC license. I called up the Department of Mines. In Cameroon, yes, the tax is very high. So therefore, they are not selling very cheap. Tax inclusive. They are selling 36, 37, tax inclusive. Because the Department of Mines will appraise the gold. So any Cameroon will sell very cheap. The seller has no license to export. Do not touch it. Make sure if the seller offer you a very cheap price, ask how long you've been in mining industry. Do you have a license to export? As a foreigner, do not grab that very cheap. You are waiting for disaster. You will land it into disaster. You will never reach your journey. Never. Do not say, oh, send me money to pay taxes. Do not send any money at all. Do not. I discourage you to send any single cents to any seller that you meet. Oh, I will send you gold to pay the transport. Don't. Why the seller cannot afford if he has gold? So that think about it, the buyer. I am discouraging you to do that to shorten. The seller do not ask any money to send you money. The buyer has to come to see you, to taste the gold. Then that is the time the buyer pay to the seller's bank account. Simple as that. Does that make sense? Okay. So this is how you do the proper transaction. You need Wilhelmina. If you cannot afford to pay Wilhelmina straight, do not be involved in gold business. Do not. I'll tell you, there was a guy, his name is Isas. He's from Melbourne, right? He came to Brisbane to see me. And he said he is going to buy gold. He's a buyer. That he gonna sell gold to Melbourne. So he come to see me in Brisbane. And I have to expose this scrupulous small timer, their joker. So when I pick him up in the airport, there are three of them. I pick up in Brisbane airport. So, madam, we are in the airport. So, okay, I will meet you there. So I pick up. I drive them around. And they were staying in Brisbane hotel. And When he was in Melbourne, he said he is a buyer. That he's going to buy gold and sell to Melbourne refinery. That is fine. When they arrive in Brisbane, I start to wonder, Madam, help us to get the profit. Wow, that is a red flag to me. I said, why I'm gonna help you? You will get the discount from the seller. The seller will give you 10% discount when you pay, but you need to travel. And you need to take Wilhelmina, because if I'm not with you, then you wait for disaster. So while we are discussing, they start to ask lots of questions. He said, can you show me your seller's mining license? I said, yes, I will give you. But first of all, I want you to convince me. Show me the proof of fund that you have $1 million. No need to travel if you cannot afford to pay. No need to travel. So they start to exchange, and he's doubtful. So I connected him to my seller in Mali. Right. And he said, bring gold to Dubai, we will pay after asset. Then I said to my seller, that buyer from Melbourne is scrupulous. He's not from Australia. He has an accent. He's from Afghanistan. He's just new in this country. And he thinks he can manipulate people. Right. So I'm just sharing you Isas. He's a young guy. He doesn't have the money. He said that he's involved in solar system. Prove it to me. So that was the big mistake. Another buyer from Gold Coast, but I'm not going to mention his name. He's in West Africa buying the diamond. He didn't get diamond. Diamond, you need to specify what quantity, and you need to pay. You need to inspect first the diamond before the diamond will be appraised to the Department of Mines to get the Kimberley certificate that the diamond is free of blood diamond and illegal activities. Without that, you cannot ask, oh, bring the diamond to New York, we will pay. It wouldn't work at all. It wouldn't work. There was a seller from Sierra Leone. He was being deceived by a buyer from New York. He brought $5 million worth of diamond. And he was being invited, and he was being booked on the cheapest motel. Right, his name is Mr. Camera. And he went to New York. After 5 hours, someone knocked at his door. The gun's in his head. The $5 million worth of diamond was taken from the seller. That was the first time he traveled to New York, he said. And he come home to Sierra Leone empty-handed. And now he's in trouble. Do not believe seller and buyer. Do not cut corners. Seller, do not believe on any buyer on diamond. Bring to Dubai, bring to New York, bring to Israel, and we will pay. Do not. A minute that the gold is in the hand of the buyer, the seller has no control. So you must have to follow a proper instruction, must be documented properly, because there are so many buyers are trying to smuggle. So many buyers are trying to leverage called gold and diamond laundering. Do not. I'm telling you right now by video. Buyers, do not cut corner. Do not shorten. You do the proper business if you want a supply. If you want a supply, sellers are there. Seller, do not be deceived yourself. Do not allow any buyer to deceive yourself. I'm telling you now. Now going back to Ghana. Ghana buyer, do not come to Ghana. Do not. Sit aside Ghana, because you will be frustrated. There's so many foreigners. You know, one of my seller called buyers are gold prostitute. I was laughing. There's so many buyers, brokers there stranded in Ghana. And those buyers are paying as well the expenses of the broker. Pay me, I will travel with you. Right. You will not be disappointed. Use my extra service. I've been in real estate, selling, buying, exactly the same. Yes, I diverted into gold gold commodities, because gold is very lucrative business. But you need to be careful, because there's so many gold launderer. There's so many smuggler. Especially Indian are the most smuggler. Yeah. Last night I was talking to one guy from United Kingdom. He is in Ghana. They smuggled gold in Ghana from different border to border. I said, no, I'm not interested. I couldn't help you. I couldn't. If the seller cannot provide the buyer export documentation, buyer, you're listening to me. When you ask the gold, you pay the gold. Come to Mali and Guinea. The gold will keep to you. Right. This is my instruction to everyone. When the gold is melt, when you wrap this, assuming this is the gold. Okay, I'm gonna show you. This is for your own benefit. After the smelting, any refinery, assuming this is the gold, you wrap the gold like this, right? Wrap the gold like this, and initial on both buyers and seller, so that the gold will not be tampered, right? Because gold is very mysterious product, right? And then you as the buyer, you buy a metal box, sell it, buy scotch tape, and padlock it, so that when you ship it to your destination, the gold will not be tampered. Because even when the gold leave or the diamond, there's always a tamperation. There's always thieves. You never know that your gold will be stolen. That is the reason why you need to insure. The seller and the buyer needs to insure the products. You cannot just cut corner. You are cutting corner, then you are waiting for disaster. If you want to hand carry, okay. Start 5 kilos, hand carry. You don't need to do the insurance. But you stay at the first class accommodation, the plane, business class, because you're carrying money. In the business class, you need to stay on business class, not on economic class, because your gold will be stolen. I'm telling you right now. So is there anybody explaining to you like this? None. None whatsoever. So now, I punish Ghana. Going back to Ghana. Last night, I was talking to the refinery owner and the seller and the buyer. The buyer was listening. Nana Minsa and William Quaso, he go behind. I send him a letter instruction from the buyer that no seller will contact Italtec because of for security reason. The fund, I have the proof of fund, $1 million transfer into Standard Chartered Bank. But why this seller are scared to deal with Italtec? I don't know why. And I called Mr. Kwame last night. I connected Mr. Nana. And Nana lied. He said that he's going to call the buyers before the gold leave the office. And he didn't. He go behind. And he was asking someone on Italtec. Italtec will not tell anyone that the buyer has the million. Because to protect the buyer's identity. Now, disaster. So this is the lesson. Any seller are devious. I have 6 sellers are all devious. That's why I discourage you, buyer, do not come to Ghana anymore. Come to Mali and Guinea or Cameroon or Sierra Leone with me. If you cannot afford my trip, don't be involved in gold business. Because you will never get gold and diamond. You are dealing with so many brokers and you're paying brokers. You pay Wilhelmina for trip only. You only stay for 7 days. You are not staying for 1 week or 3 weeks. Because I would be there. I am going to arrive the day before you arrive. And I will sit down with the seller. I will help you to close the deal. Because my seller already aware the problem in Ghana. In Guinea, my seller been in business for 25 years and they own the land. They mine gold and diamond. My seller is existing seller and we have an existing buyer and you are my new customer. That is why I'm promoting my seller, because my seller is very busy digging gold. They don't have time to deal with broker to broker. They hired me. But when you need me, you need Wilhelmina, I charge an extra service. That's fair, right? I hope you understand what I'm saying today. Book your trip for 2018. November is almost end of the year. My seller's instruction that December 10 they're gonna close production. But they have still stocks. They are building the stock, they're keeping the stock. They're gonna sell a small quantity to start with. And then you put that into the contract. 100, 100, 100 for 12 months contract. You start 20 kilos, you pay 7 kilos. Right, the balance you pay after final asset, the seller representative will come together with you. Is that make sense? I hope you understand what I'm saying. Thank you very much.